I've put together a deck with an end board that feels unbeatable, and I'm going to show you guys the combo, show you guys the deck, and then I need your help making this more consistent. Because this is a rough draft of an idea. I was snowballing. As you can see, the board is a Appaloosa, Griffin, Savage, Tornado Dragon with a set Scythe and a set Judgment. I was trying to figure out a way that an end board that if you make it going first and like through interruptions or through no interruptions, if you get to the end board, you win. And this is what I came up with, which was a Scythe Lock with a Judgment to protect it. And then if they happen to discard a trap off of a Droplet, so they're able to stop you from Judgmenting, you still have a Floodgate, 2 monster negates, an Omni negate, and the Judgment as well. So I'm going to show you guys this combo real quick. I'm going to show you the list, and I would love feedback on this deck. I would love feedback on it. So this is like a Lunalight Danger deck. Lunalight Danger Dragon. And as you see, it's 55 cards, which is where the help is going to come in. I need you guys to help me figure out what to cut. But here we're opening up with Perfume, Destrudo, Raider's Wing, Tsuchinoko, and Quick Launch. So I activate Tsuchinoko, chain Quick Launch, and we summon out the Tracer. The reason I chain the Quick Launch is because all these 3 cards are good in graveyard. This card will float if I hit it. So it's just the most advantageous way to resolve the danger, in my opinion, here. Then we'll use good, send Serenade. Serenade, effect, pitch Perfume, summon Kaleido Chick. And now because I have Serenade and Perfume, I'm going to have access to the full Chick Tiger combo, as well as 3 dark monsters with different types on board. So I'm going to use Kaleido Chick to dump, go into Striker to search the field spell. And then we're going to link 3 into Curious. This guy is like one of the focal points of this deck. This card is going to send the Judgment and then also mill 3. And I play multiple Ravine, so it's not a big deal we hit this. But there's also a lot of cards you can hit off the Curious that are just good to hit. Then we're going to use the Perfume, pitch Destrudo, search Tiger, activate Tiger, summon Chick. Keep in mind, we also still have not normal summoned. Chick is going to dump the Emerald Bird, which this is a card I'm thinking about cutting, because I don't play a lot of ways to truly like abuse this card. So there's a world where I could just play a 3-1 line on the Lunalights and that just be it. But we're going to overlay these into the Forstrix, and we're going to search the Zephyros. The reason being here, we only play the 2 Wing Beast like Garnets / extenders, and because this is already engraved, we're not going to go into the Link 2 because we only play 2. So we're just going to search the Zephyros and then be able to use it as discard fodder later on. Then I'm going to detach the special. And here I went to Link 2 but decided no. We're going to link the Link 3 and the 1 into an Appaloosa for 2. And then Destrudo, pay 4,000 targeting Raider's Wing, making it a level 3. So then we can go into Pisty because it takes a 4 or lower. Pisty, bring back the Reach or the Tracer, go into Romulus, search our Ravine. So now we have a way to discard the Zephyros and gain value. So then I'm going to Chick, bring back Tiger, Link 2 into Dagda, activate Ravine, pay cost, chain Dagda to set Scythe, and we're going to send Abzorouter, search Tracer. And like I said, we have not normal summoned yet, so keep that in mind still. Here we're going to bounce the Tiger with Zephyros, then activate Tiger again for Chick, link those into the Griffin. Griffin effect is going to pitch the Boot Sector to set Judgment and then draw into a Safer. The reason we pitched the launch is because we haven't normaled. So I don't need to activate Sector, Special Tracer, Tracer Pop Sector. I could just normal it and pop Ravine. And so then here we go into the Tornado Dragon. And then we're going to summon the Tracer. And then Tracer Pop Ravine. Special the 4. And then Synchro 8 for the Borreload Savage. Equipping the Curious. And so now, like I said, we have the 2 negates on Appaloosa. We have 2 Omni negates, one of which is Solemn Judgment. So they have to pitch a trap off Droplets or they lose. And even if they pitch a trap off Droplets, like, they're not in a good spot after that. They are going to have to commit. So Droplets, right? I'm going to do this in the standby phase or the draw phase. So Droplets is going to have to either stop Tornado or Scythe, one of those 2. It's going to have to stop the Savage, so that's 2 discards so far. The Appaloosa's 3, and the Griffin's 4. And if they leave any of those unchecked, they trade with at least 1 card or a whole mechanic. So they're going to have to use Droplet plus 4 other cards. and then I have the Judgment for their follow-up. Like, and any one of these they leave trades with a card, except Griffin, but he's also like a floodgate. And so everything is going to trade with a card, and then I also have the Judgment to trade with a card if they pitch a trap. And if they don't pitch a trap, we Judgment the Droplet, they lose the game. Unless maybe they have like multiple Droplet, but at that point, like they would Droplet, pitch an amount, even if they only pitched one to stop the Tornado, and I Judgmented it, and then Tornado resolves popping Scythe, and then they Droplet a second time pitching one, they're still going to be down 4 cards having stopped 2 of the interrupts. And so like this end board and deck feels like if it goes off, it's unbeatable. Obviously, this is through no hand traps. Like if you get hand trapped, it'll change. But that's where I'm going to show you guys the list and where you come in, where I want to work on this deck more and kind of like make it so A, it's more consistent and can like do a version of that board every time, and B, make it so it can then do it through hand traps and other interruptions. And then we'll think about like how it goes going second, but this is still a very rough. I considered not bringing you guys this video yet because I wanted to show you like a polished end product, but I figured that the value for me of having your guys' feedback was more important than like my own ego wanting to save this until it was complete. And so I'm just going to go over the list real quick, and I'll kind of verbalize what some of the cards are for. And if you guys have suggestions or anything, please let me know. I also have like a suggestion or an idea like tab down here in the side deck, so I don't have a real side put together. But I'll just get right into it. 1 Tiger, 3 Chick, 3 Goods, 3 Small World, 1 Tanky, 1 Foolish. These are all the cards that like give you access to Chick Tiger. Foolish technically doesn't give you access to Chick Tiger, but it can send Yellow Martin, which could get Serenade Dance. So it could like, if you have Dangers or a discard outlet, it gives you access to Chick or Tiger. But then it also gives you access to a lot of different cards like Destrudos, Zephyros, Emerald Bird for a Reborn, Dark Worm. It's just Abzorrouter. There's a lot of value in this card. And then for the Danger lineup of like Danger starters / extenders, we have Triple Nessie, 1 Such, 1 Jack. These are the ones that are guaranteed to resolve. We also play 1 Mothman, 1 Bigfoot. Reason being for Mothman is obviously it's a level 4 to summon off Jack. And then Bigfoot's a level 8, so you can go into the Zombie Vampire. Because this card's an insane extender. And all these cards are good engraved, so like we're happy to mill. And we want to get summoned, so it's just like win-win for us. And then we've got Triple Chaos Space and 1 Safer. These search out the Black and White Dragon. And Safer is a one of, the reason being I don't often want to use my normal summon on this card, but if I draw it, it's okay to use my normal summon because it's still a starter. But it's predominantly to be milled or sent so that we could then mill or send the Levianeer and add it back. But like it's also a starter, so I'm okay. Like it's like you're playing 2 Garnets to access Levy, but you're only really playing 1 because one of them starts your combo. And then Triple Ravine and a Dragon Shrine. The reason I like Ravine a lot more than a card like Dragon Shrine is it's not once per turn, and this deck also mills a lot, so if you mill one, like you saw in the combo, I did mill one, it puts you at a disadvantage if you only play one, but if you play multiple, you literally don't care that you milled it, and so you can just like continue on playing. And like if you draw 2, it's not bad, especially if you draw it with like a Danger or something. A lot of the cards in your hand are good to discard. This card is just like really strong. And if you open multiple, like you could pitch Dark Worm will special itself. You could search the gate, and then you could pitch the gate off the second if you need to. And so it's like really advantageous there. And then for the Rocket package, it's just triple Quick Launch, double Tracer, and then 1 Recharger and 1 Abzorrouter. The reason for this little package is that oftentimes you don't even need the Tracer effect. It's not like to give you a 1 card level 8 synchro too often, because that would lock you in a dark, so you can't do it too early. So Tracer's not like really a starter unless we were to change the extra deck a little bit to have a play that we can make when dark locked early on. But it's a strong extender with Quick Launch because you can turn like any Luna Light plus the Tracer you special into the Chaos Ruler, and then you've got the Tracer engraved or reborn off Pisty later. And then even like normal summon Tracer, go into Striker, search Field Spell. That gives you like the Field Spell, which is it's a +1. Even if you just use it for discard fodder, it's still a free card. But then you still have the Dragon on board to make into a Curious, or if you put another Dragon on board, you can go into Romulus. It's just, the card's pretty strong. And then we've got double Talents and a Called By. This is like my only thing in here right now for hand traps. This is like subject to change. I could literally take these out and it wouldn't hurt me too much in my opinion. But like I said, this deck's not optimized for dueling opponents yet. I'm trying to perfect the combo and then figure out what cards are dead weight and can go. And then from there, we'll make room for like going second cards and like hand traps and stuff. And then we'll tutor the side to be able to handle that too. But the reason I went for these is because like tactics is good going second, but it also is good going first to let you try to get this end board. And your draw two can be very valuable because you play a lot of very good cards. And so I think this card will probably end up staying, but it's a card you could cut. I know if you were like trying to make this in real life, it's kind of expensive, so you can cut it. Called by is called by. It stops the impactful hand traps. Then triple perfume and the one serenade dance. These cards are really insane, especially with the goods, because like you get to search anything or summon anything from your deck, any Lunalight, which is very very mighty, dude. Like it's kind of insane how good these cards are. The fact that Lunalight puts a level 4 Beast Warrior on board without the normal summon is so nice. And then Perfume being an extender and a searcher is it's so free. It's literally so free. And then there's times where you're discarding cards like Nessie, like the Destrudo, where this you feel like $1,000,000. And then we got the black and white dragon. These are in here to search off chaos space. You're mainly searching white because most of your cards are dark, so it's really nice. You can go into Boot and then into Romulus just like normal Dragon Link would and get like 2 free cards. And if you search it off chaos space, you're searching 2 field spells, getting a draw, and having discard fodder for the Ravine off of a 2-card investment, which is like kind of insane. And then you also have a Link 2 on board, which is going to help you get to the Appaloosa quicker. And then we've got the Destrudo. This card I was iffy on at first, but I feel like it's very strong. I think that I could tailor the extra deck or side deck to include cards that would make this stronger going first and second. Like I could play the Dawn Dragster as an additional way to put up an interruption. I could play Riser Dragon and play Fairy Tale Snow. I could play like a lot of different things. I could play Yazi to help break boards or Black Rose to help break boards. But like that, they could be good ideas. I haven't tried it yet because I haven't ran this against people yet. I'm still trying to finish like making the combo, minimizing the extra deck it takes for the combo, and then adding cards for going second. And then we got the one levy. You can search it off Ravine or Shrine or anything if you've already sent a Safer, and vice versa. If you mill this, then you just have to send Safer. I covered the dangers already. Darkworm is actually like insane when you open a way to get it. It's so good that it makes me want to condense this list closer to 40 because I don't particularly want to play multiple Darkworm, although it's not bad. Because if you draw this card with no discard outlet, you can just scale it. And its scale effect lets you also place Gate 0 from scale. And then you could Pendulum 0 through 5, which predominantly all your cards are level 4. And all the cards that you gain access to search through like the Raid Raptor combo are level 4. So it's just like a free way to put the Zephy on board. It's like, it's really strong, honestly. But if you send it to Grave off of Shrine or Ravine or Foolish to lead your play, and then you special it out, it's a level 4 that you can overlay or link with. It's a dragon, so you could go straight into Striker if you want Search the Field spell. But you're also getting the Gate 0, which like I said is a 0 scale. But Tiger's a 5 scale, and you're always getting to Tiger. Like, if you're playing the game, you're getting to Tiger. We play so many ways to mill like this card to access Tiger that's the focal point of the deck is accessing Tiger. And so having this in there is really strong, being able to search a 0 scale and then being able to pendulum summon. It's just like a really strong extender, weirdly enough. You get to search a pseudo extender and it's nice. Then we have the Judgment for the combo. We have the, you just set this. This could also, like games 2 and 3, we could side into Floodgates. Like if you're against a trap deck, you could like put in Royal Decree. And even going first, like you'll just set the Royal Decree, their turn will come, they'll set a bunch, they'll go end phase and you'll flip Decree and kill them. You could play cards like Summon Limit if you're playing against combo. And then they're challenged with having to break your board. And then also have to have an out to the Floodgate, which they wouldn't have sided in most likely. Unless they sided in Cosmic or Lightning Storm. Because those could stop Scythe or could stop the... or could just like be used to break monsters and trade with a negate. So chances are you could just like put a Floodgate in games 3. But game 1 blind, this feels like the best one. Because it should secure Scythe goes through. And like I said, the one Serenade Dance, the one Yellow Martin. If you look, after the 40 card mark, These cards are all the cards that are like, and not counting Armageddon Knight. If you look past the 41 card mark, these are all like the garnets in the sense that drawing them on their own is not a play, but in tandem with like any of the cards up here, they're not that bad. Like, you're not happy to draw Yellow Marten, but if you draw it with a danger, there's a chance you hit it, search the trap, and go insane. You're not happy to draw Emerald Bird, but like you could banish it off something like Small World. You could pitch it off Chaos Space, discard fodder for this. Like I said, it could be hit by a danger and float. Pitch them off Ravine. Like, these cards aren't crazy on their own, but they synergize well with the rest. But this is mainly the section where I would like to cut cards from, but it's very hard to because like they add so much ceiling to the deck. And then we have the Zephyros, the Raiders Wing. Raiders Wing is the important one. Like, I mean, they're both clearly very important, but Raiders Wing is better than the other one, the Lanius that you could play. I forget its name. This guy, Singing Lanius, because it can be discarded. And I think I was even shown in my combo where I pitched it off a danger, but it was still live. You can mill it off your extra 3 mills off this. You can mill it off this, and you're lit. And so just like a free card. And then we play the 1 Recharger. The reason we just play the Recharger is because it's a level 4, so if you need to like normal summon it, it's not the end of the world. You can overlay with it. You can link with it. I don't play the level 1 because I'm not trying to make a hot red after. If I make Chaos Ruler, my intention is probably to make the Vampire Zombie after. Or Zombie Vampire. Or just like link this away into one of the big link combos I'm trying to do. Because this deck's objective is only to put like 1 Omni Negate, maybe 2, with one of them for sure being Judgment. So I didn't really feel, I felt like Rocket would kind of contribute to bricking. Whereas the, not Rocket, but the level 1 Rocket. But this card feels strong. That way you can pop it for Tracer to summon, still get access to your 8s. If you draw it, you can overlay with it and stuff. It's like not dead completely. We got the Scythe, which it's Scythe, you have to play that one. Absorounder is so Ravine can search Tracer. Gate 0, like I said, goes with the Dark Worm. And then Boot Sector Launch is, this card feels required. It might not technically be, but there's going to be times where you need it for the field spell effect. But there's also times where it's just like a free discard for a lot of the cards you have going on. And so, in the main deck, I guess to wrap, like, not to wrap, but to let you guys know the advice I'm kind of looking for, the type of advice. Oh, I didn't even cover Armageddon Knight. Real quick, I play Armageddon Knight because it could send a lot of different stuff. It could send Router to search, it could send Zephyros, it could send Destrudo. And, like, if you have a Arma plus Danger, you can Arma, send Destrudo. Destrudo comes back as a 3, make Striker, search, Boot Sector, and then special the Danger. And then that's Curious right there. So it's 2/3 of a Curious. And that's kind of cool. It's just like, I think that's the most impactful play you can make with it, like just on its own. But in tandem with like extenders, it becomes very powerful. Because if you have access like Lunalight cards in grave already, you can send this. If you have a lot of dangers, you can send this, search Trap. If you like have some dragon pieces, you can send this, search a Tracer. Like if you open the Boot Sector or a way to search the Boot Sector. And so this card seems cool. This one I just, is the most recent addition. If it turns out to be good, I could put a Rhoda in too. But like to recap, what I would like feedback on is either making this list closer to 40 or upping it to 60 with more starters. So basically, if you can think of strong starter extenders for the main deck, that I would love to hear about those. Preferably not ones that are good when milled only. Like I want a card that when I draw it, it is powerful. Going second cards, that tandem is going first cards would be nice so that the triple tactic as an example, this will not stop a hand trap but allow me to play through a hand trap going first. I could then rip a second hand trap, or if I don't have combo, I can draw in a combo. And so stuff like that, maybe like Gamma, or if you have any other ideas on that. Or also could be a world where we played like 1 to 2 Ghost Ogre and then 3 E-Telly, but I don't know how I would utilize the level 3 extender in this current list. What else? I mean, obviously if I knew the advice I wanted to hear, I wouldn't need to hear advice. So those are just kind of my ideas, but if you have anything like completely off the wall that you don't think I'm thinking of, please let me know. This sign deck, I'm not really going to talk about right now. It's just some things that could come up for like going second, but I really want to focus on the going first, getting the combo down. Then the extra deck I'll go over. We've got the 3 cards that mill. Curious, Chaos Ruler, Zombie Vampire. I think Zombie Vampire, if any of them could be cut, it would be that one because of the like these are way easier to make, and this is kind of relying on you getting to levy or the danger, which isn't always going to happen. So if I had to cut cards to make room for going second cards in the extra deck or like other combo pieces, this would probably be the first one to go out of the milling package. But Curious is like essential because it's the one that guarantee sends Judgment. It's also a Link 3, so it sets you up to go into the Appaloosa for 2. Chaos Ruler is Chaos Ruler. This card you're not typically making off of Tracer Pop Summon because that locks you into Dark, but you're going to quick launch into Tracer and then sync it away with like a Kaleido Chick. Mill 5. And then the crazy part about this though is like you're trying to get to Chick Tiger combo. Tiger's a light, Chick's a dark. So whichever one you need, you can mill into. You also, if you don't mill into these, can mill into like extenders. You can mill these to be extenders. You can mill these to be extenders. Like there's so many good cards to mill in this deck that it just feels insane. A lot of the like quote unquote bad cards are insane when you mill. And then so same with Vampire is you get to mill 4. The thing that sucks is they get to mill 4, but then you also get to special the guy, which is kind of cool. And then we play the Griffin. Griffin is to set the Judgment you set. And it's also a floodgate. It says that only monsters that are linked can activate their effects are special summoned or something. Special summon monsters on the field cannot activate their effects unless they are linked. So the weird thing with this is that it kind of limits the size of your board because I'm summoning Appaloosa, right? And I optimally want to use Griffin. If I'm putting Appaloosa in the left hand extra deck monster zone, I would want, or the right hand, I would want to put the Griffin in the middle of the field. That way I can have 3 extra deck monsters available with effects because there would be the 2 extra arrows from Appaloosa and then Griffin would grant me an additional arrow. But more often than not, you're wanting to actually summon it like right under Appaloosa because Nightmares have the effect that if they're co-linked, you get to draw a card after the discard. So if your hand size, if you don't really care about the draw, you can have 3 extra deck monsters on board, which 2 are going to be Tornado Dragon and like Borreload Savage probably. But if there's a third that you want to be able to put up, you could do it at the cost of a draw, but typically you're going to leave it under the Appaloosa, draw a card, put up Tornado, put up an Omni Negate. Then we've got the Raid Raptor package of Y-Strix and Force Strix. Y-Strix doesn't always come up because if you mill one of those cards or draw them, you don't need it. But when you don't, it's like insane the amount of value it gets you. It gets you very close to either, well, it guarantees you an Appaloosa with like any 1 level 4 extender, or it gets you 2/3 to a what's it called? Curious. So that's kind of strong. This also like technically goes with this package, the Gagaga Magician. This lets you, when you make a rank 4, say you have 2 Beast Warriors, you can turn it into a spellcaster that specials a Wing Beast. And so it lets you turn 2 monsters of the same type into 2 monsters of a different type. That way your Curious is more easily accessible. This is a card that could technically be cut too. I'm not too attached to this card. As I go over it, I'll move the cards that could be cut to the very front. Because like I said, I do want to make room for like different ways to combo, like when Dark Locked or cards for going second. And so these are like ones that maybe could be cut. We got the Appaloosa. This card's insane because it'll like, once you put this up, you're free to pop off. It also gives you arrows for Pisty and for the Griffin draw. And it gives you like the 2 negates. So if they do happen to have like Droplet Pitch Trap, they still are going to have to also answer this or play through it, which is always easier said than done. Then we've got the Artifact Dagda Tornado Dragon. These are obviously to Scythe Lock. I can't cut these. I can't talk too much about them. Like, it's kind of obvious. But I guess one thing I could talk about is you're either trying to make the Dagda before the Appaloosa and then use it for making the Appaloosa, or you want to make it soon after the Appaloosa and use it to go into the Griffin. Those are the instances of this card after you get the effect to set, is to link climb into those 2 link 4s. Then the 1 Striker to search Boot, Romulus to search Ravine, the Borreload Savage to put up an Omni Negate, Pisty to summon a guy off of the Appaloosa, because you summon it to any 1 dragon extender then can become Romulus, which then could dump a thing, which could keep you going for decades. And then the 1 Evil Swarm Nightmare. this card's like technically flexible. The reason it's in there though is if I do like, say my only play is Tracer, and I'm not comfortable going for the mill, I could just like put this up as an interruption, and it's not the craziest interruption, but it's definitely a viable one. You can also put this up with your end board if like, I could have made this in the combo you saw instead of a Borreload Savage. I don't think in that exact instance in that end board it would be optimal to make this instead, but like there's just scenarios where maybe the last extender I had wasn't Tracer, but instead it was a way to put a rank 4 on board. I would just have that. And I haven't made this in testing yet, but it's there for theory, and that's why it's being moved over to the could potentially be cut. But these cards I'm pretty sold on, to be honest. Like Pisty could technically go over here, but it would be the least likely of these 4 to leave. And that's the list, guys. Like I said a million times, I really need feedback on this list. This is more so a video for me, to be honest. This is me asking for your help to break this deck the best that we can. And I'll be answering every comment. I normally answer every comment anyways, but like these will be more in-depth answers. Like I want to talk about this deck. So thank you guys. Anyone that watched this long and anybody that actually is going to contribute to helping me make this better, I appreciate you immensely, and take it easy, guys.